Advanced ADDS infrastructure management. In this we will see overview of this advanced ADDS deployment. Then we'll see how we can deploy the distributed ADS environment, and also we will configure the trust. Trust, that means what is trust and how we can do the trust. Now first, overview of the domain and forest boundaries in an ADDS structure. Now when we create the first domain, that means we actually create the forest, and in the forest we create the first root domain. So when we create the domain, so actually we are creating the root domain in the forest, and we are creating the forest. Now what is the forest? Forest is consists of domain trees, and domain is a security boundary, which in that we have the all clients and resources, and all within the domain security boundary will follow the restrictions and permissions of the domain. Now in a domain, in a forest, we can create multiple domains. When we create a domain, so basically when we create the domain, for example, this is our domain. So we are not creating the domain, we are creating the root domain, and we are creating actually the whole forest. And in the forest we can create multiple domains. Multiple domains, that means child domains. That means the child domain of our root domain, then the child domain for this child domain, then child domain for this child domain. Then same as we can create other tree domains. Tree domains will have a different namespace. Namespace, that means if suppose this is the domain 1, suppose this is domain 1.com, so the child domain will be 2.1.com, this will be 3.1.com, this will be 4.3.2.1.com. so they will carry the same namespace within the tree. Now if we want to create another tree, so we create another tree for the different namespace. So when we create the different tree domain, it actually have a different namespace, and then this tree domain can also have their own child domains, child domains. So they will carry the namespace of the parent tree domain. And same as this tree domain, we can have multiple different tree domains. We can have multiple trees in a forest. So we have a restriction boundaries. We have the boundaries we have for the domain or forest. So for example, when we say the domain, so domain is a partition replication boundary. Now in Active Directory is divided into different partitions. The data for the Active Directory is a database. It has a database of all the resources and objects available in the network, within the network. So that database is divided into partitions. Schema partition and domain partition, DNS partition, infrastructure partition. So we have different partitions. So it is, domain is a partition replication boundary. That means within the domain, all the domain controllers we have, they will carry the same schema, they will carry the same Active Directory database. And then what, how they will get the same Active Directory database? By getting the replication of the partitions. So the database of the Active Directory will be replicated from one domain controller to other domain controller within the domain. So it is a boundary where only the replication will happen within the domain. It is the administrative permissions boundary also. That means whatever the administration permissions we give to the resources or server, the clients or resource or users, it is the boundary of that. And then group policy application boundary. The application of group policy we apply for the domain users or computers. So it will apply within the boundary of the domain. Auditing boundary. So we can do the auditing within the domain. Password and account policies boundary. That means whatever the policies we configure for the accounts, password policy or account policy, it will apply within the domain boundary. DNS domain zone replication boundary. That means the DNS servers within the boundary will replicate the DNS server information to other DNS server within the domain boundary. Now forest. Now forest has a boundary, is security boundary. That means totally it is a single forest. So within the forest, all the domain, whether we are having the root domain, child domain, tree domain, they can all carry the same security boundary. That means they will remain in the same security boundary. They can access resources of each others, but the users or any other person who's trying to access it from the outside of the security boundary of the forest, they will not be able to do anything. They will not be able to access anything because of the security boundary of the forest. And it is the schema partition replication. So the domain partition replication remains within the domain, and schema partition replication goes on to replicate within the whole forest. So it is a boundary for the schema partition replication. Then configuration partition replication, this is the other partition. So this partition replication is also happened within the boundary of forest. Then global catalog replication, replication about the global catalog information will also replicate within the whole forest. Then forest DNS zone replication, that means the zone for the forest will also be replicated within the whole forest. Now these are the replication boundary for the forest and domain. Now why implement multiple domains? So why in first place, why organizations do implement these multiple domains? So first, organizations may choose to deploy multiple domains so that domain replication requirement, because they just want to maintain the domain replication. They want to change the DNS namespace requirements, like if you create a single domain, so it will create a single namespace. If you want to have a different namespace for the different domain, so you can create the different domain. Distributed administration requirement. Then suppose your organization is having a departments, a big departments, a different departments, and you want to maintain the administration of the different department to the different administrators. So you can do what? You can create different domain for it. Then forest administrative group security requirements. Then also resources domain requirement are also required to create the multiple domains. Then why implement multiple forest? Now sometimes organizations do what? They choose to deploy multiple forests. Not only a multiple domains within the forest, they also choose to create or deploy multiple forests. That means a complete separate forest. Now this is they do this thing because of sometimes security isolation requirement. Say sometimes they just want to isolate the security requirements, like PAM, that is PAM in the Windows Server 2016 ADDS uses a separate basin forest to isolate the privileged account in order to protect against credential theft techniques. So they create different forests for the privileged account and the other forest for the normal accounts, so that they will remain completely different. And if suppose someone attacks onto these credential attacks, so it will get only the accounts related information of those normal accounts. Then incompatible schema requirements. Sometimes the schema requirements are also not matching because of different versions of Windows Server we are using. Like for example, we are using Server 2000, Server 2008 or Server 2003, even Server 2003. Forest is already there, and we want to implement the other Server 2016 new technology. Now we can do what? They can create a different forest for them. Multinational requirements are also there. Like if you are having a multinational, like you have offices or organizations within different countries, so you want to create different countries, different forests for them. External extranet security requirement. Then you have a extra network, extranet, that means you are having other companies, external companies, so you can create different forests for them. Business merger or divestiture requirements also, like when sometime they a big organization merge the small organizations or other organization, or suppose two organizations are merging their businesses, so they will not destroy the whole infrastructure they have already created. So they have different forests. So one organization, one business is having a different forest, the other business is having the different forest, so they don't want to destroy each other's forest or create new from the beginning. So they can do what? They can use the different multiple forest. can deploy a domain controller in Azure IaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. It is a cloud service where we get the virtual servers. Virtual servers. On these virtual servers, we do what? We install our operating system or applications. So Microsoft Azure is a cloud service which provide the cloud services. So within the cloud services, it also provide the infrastructure as a service. So it provide the IaaS services also. And that is what that is providing the hardware, virtual hardware or virtual server for the organization. So in scenarios in which you might deploy the ADDS on an Azure virtual machine, so we get the virtual machine from the Azure cloud services, and we can create the Active Directory services on that also. We can install Active Directory services on that also. Now, what are the scenario? For example, disaster recovery. Disaster recovery, that means if suppose you're putting it into your own premises, so if suppose some disaster happened, flood, thundering or whatever, so you may lose your data. So for disaster recovery, you can also do what? You can deploy the data, you can deploy your Active Directory services, domain services on Azure cloud, on the virtual machines of Azure cloud. Then geo-distributed domain controllers, geo-distributed, geographically distributed domain controllers if we have. So we can do what? We can use the Azure virtual machine to create the Active Directory domain controller. And the isolated applications. If suppose you want to create the isolated application, then also we can use this Azure cloud virtual machine to create the Active Directory domain services. Now, consideration during the deployment. So when you are trying to deploy the Active Directory domain services on Azure virtual machine, so you have to consider these network topologies, like what are the network topologies you want. Then the site topology, that means what are the different sites you have and how you are going to connect them by using the network topology. And service healing, how the services are going to be healed if you lose the services. IP addressing is also considered, and also the DNS is important for the Active Directory domain services. Then hard disk read write caching is also important, like it will cache the hard disk will cache the read write option, so that it will not always go to Active Directory cloud. Now, managing objects in complex ADDS in deployment. Now, first, potential issues are user and group management. If you are having a complex environment where you have multiple domains or even a multiple forest also, so user and group management will be the potential issue, because the multiple domain have different users, different Active Directories. So suppose when you create a child domain, so the child domain will have a different Active Directory than the other domain, normal domain. So the root domain, so it will get the other or separate Active Directory. Now separate Active Directory, separate users and groups you create. So managing them is differently. So it can be a potential issue. Then user self-services are important. Certificate management is also the issue. You have to manage the certificates properly. Identity synchronization is also be done. Now, most Microsoft Identity Manager 2016 provides the cloud-ready identities for Azure Active Directory. So there is a tool available with Microsoft 2016. It provides the cloud-ready identities for Azure Active Directory. So if you are using the Azure Active Directory, so it is having the option to cloud-ready identities. Then powerful user self-service features with multi-factor authentications. And also privileged access management is also available within this tool. Now, deploying the distributed ADDS environment. Now, when we try to deploy the ADDS environment, multiple ADDS environment, so first we have to think about this domain functional level. First, the domain functional level. That means how and what services, what features we will get based on the functional level of the domain. Now, domain functional level depends on the forest functional level. We cannot increase the functional level of the domain more than the forest functional level. That means if we are having a forest here, and in our forest, if suppose the root domain which I created, it was created when server 2003 was there. So maximum functional level for this forest could be this server 2003 functional level. That means all the features available for server 2003 is we can use here in this forest. Now if suppose I install the new child domain here and I use server 2008 there, but still I cannot increase the functional level to server 2008 of this domain. Even I am using the whole domain of server 2008, but I cannot increase the level to server 2008 for this domain because the forest is still on server 2003. So we cannot increase the domain functional level more than the forest. Now if you don't able to increase the forest this domain functional level, so even you are using server 2008, still you will not get the latest features available on server 2008. You have to still use as you are using the server 2003. So if suppose in your forest you have multiple domains, then you have to take care about the functional level. Functional level is to do the compatibility with the old versions of Windows operating system or Windows server domain. It is to compatible with the other domains. Like if suppose you are having a domain of server 2008, the whole forest is server 2008, but still I want to use server 2016, so I can use that, I can use it in a domain. So it will be compatibility, it will allow us to do the compatibility. And even if suppose I install the first domain as server 2016 and I want to use server 2000, so I can do that because of the functional level. So new functionality requires that domain controllers are running a particular version of Windows. So these are the functionality like Windows Server 2003. Now it is not available in Server 2016. Server 2008 is available. Server 2008 R2, 12, 2012 R2 or Server 2016. So you cannot rise the functional level while the domain controller are running previous Windows Server version. And also you cannot add the domain controllers running previous Windows Server version after rising the functional level. That means if suppose we are having the server 2008 R2 here in this root domain, and I have installed now upgraded to server 2012 R2, so I can add server 2016 domain here and I can use this. Both will work, both will be compatible, both will work. We don't have to do anything else. But if suppose I increase the functional level to server 2012 R2, then I cannot add a server 2008 domains here in the forest. It depends on the forest functional level that what functional level domain you can add. So ADDS forest functional level, this ADDS forest functional level gives you the different features. It will allow you to use the latest feature of the operating systems. Like when it was server 2003, so forest trust is possible, domain renaming is also possible, linked value replication was possible, improved KCC was there. KCC is for the replication. Then support for RODC was there, conversion of inter-organization person objects to user object, then deactivation and redefinition of attributes and object classes were possible in server 2003 functional level. Now if you increase it to server 2008 functional level, then no new feature sets minimum level for all new domains. It will not allow you to, it will not get you any new feature. The features will remain same, but it sets minimum level for all new domains. Then we can have server 2008, we can have minimum level for the new domains. That means we can add minimum level for the new domains. That means then we have server 2008 R2. Now in server 2008 R2 functional level we get what? a new feature which is called recycle bin, Active Directory recycle bin, to recover the deleted users. This was the new feature we get when Server 2012 R2 was there. Then when we increase the function level to Server 2012 or Server 2000 R2 12 R2, so the feature will remain same, and also we'll get sets of minimum level for all new domains. Then when we increase it to Windows Server 2016 functional level, so no new feature, the features will remain same. It sets the minimum level for all new domains. Now deploying the new ADDS domain, so what we can deploy first, when we deploy the first domain, so it creates the forest and it will be the root domain for the forest. It is the automatically created with new, it is automatically created with the new forest and is the base of an ADDS infrastructure and can be the only domain in an ADDS deployment. Because if suppose you don't create any other domain, you create only the first domain, so it will be the root domain. Root domain within the forest, and you created the forest with the root domain. So it can be the only domain mostly if you don't create any other domain. Now you can create the other domain, that is what the child domain. Child domain is a child of a parent domain. Parent domain could be the root domain and other parent domain, other child domain of the root domain. And it shares the same namespace with the parent domain. So when we create the child domain, so it will get the same name of the parent domain. That means when you have one.com is a parent domain. So when we create the child of this parent domain, like I say 2, so domain name will be 2, but it will carry the name of the parent, that means 2.1.com. And if I create one more child, like suppose 3, so the domain name will be 3, but it will carry the parent name, that is 3.2.1.com. So it goes like this. So these child domains will carry the name of the parent domains. Now tree domain is created a new domain tree and a new namespace. So tree domain will create the new domain tree. The domain tree, that means this is the domain tree where we have parent and child domains. So maybe this is the root domain, this is the child domain of the root domain, then this is the child domain of this this parent domain. Then if you want to create a new tree, so we can create the tree domain, and that domain will have a different namespace. Different namespace, that means it will not carry the namespace of the default root domain. It will be a new domain, like for example it can be a.com. So it is not carrying the name of the parent domain, root domain, that is one.com. It will create the new namespace, and the childs of this tree domain will have the same, will carry the namespace of this tree domain, like b.a.com, c.b.a.com, like that. So it is are commonly used in merger and acquisition scenarios. So commonly it is used when you are merging something into our domain, our forest, or acquisition of scenario, like you are acquisition other companies. So how we can create these child domains or tree domains or even a root domain. Root domain is our first domain. Now this is our server, and it is having the Active Directory services installed. Now this server is our, it is having a first domain. It is our first domain, that means this is our root domain. Root domain name site.com. Now if I create a child domain, then it will carry the name of this root domain. And also every domain has their own Active Directory, their separate Active Directories. They will not carry their, they will not carry the Active Directory of the parent domain. Every child domain has their own Active Directory. Like for example, I will use to create something here. I will create new OU here. and I will create some user here also. And I will create one user here also. So we have some OUs and some users here. Now if I create a new domain, so it will not have the same Active Directory. It will have the new Active Directory. But if you create a new, if you create another domain within the same domain, another domain controller within the same domain, so it will carry the same Active Directory. So I will go to the other server and create the child domain. Now this is our server 2. It is actually member of the domain, but it is not having any domain controller info. It is not having any Active Directory domain services. Now we want to do what? We want to configure this as a child domain. So what we have to do? We have to first install the services by going into add and remove roles and features. So first we will install the Active Directory domain services here. With adding all features, and I will say reboot when it requires. Now after installing it, what we will do, we will configure this as a child domain. So it is same as you creating a first domain, only that you will select the other option, that is to be select to be a child domain. It will take a little time to install. So what we are doing here, we have created the domain, so that we created on server 1. So we install the server 1 there, and we install Active Directory domain services on server 1, and we promote this server to be a domain controller. Now when we promote the domain to be a domain controller, so there was an option to select a new forest. So we selected the new forest because there was no available domain. We are creating this first time. So this server 1 becomes the domain controller for the root domain. This is the root domain we have. So whenever you create the first domain, it will always be the root domain within the new forest. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create a child domain. So what we are going to do, we have installed the another server, that is server 2. And on server 2, now we are installing the Active Directory domain services, and after that we will promote this server to be a domain controller. Now in that, it will ask me that what we want to do. Do we want to create the domain controller within the same domain? That means the domain which we have already created, the root domain, where we have the domain controller server 1, and we want to create server 2 as a secondary domain controller, or we want to create the new entire domain for this domain controller. So this time we will select that we want to create a new domain, that is the child domain. So we will say we want to create a child domain. We'll select the child domain. Now what it will do, it will create the entire new domain, but it will remain the child domain of this parent domain. But different is this, that in this domain we have a different Active Directory, and this domain, this child domain, we will get the different Active Directory. Now the services are installed, and it is saying that promote this server to be a domain controller. So we click on this and it opens this wizard. Now here it is saying what, add a domain controller to an existing domain. That means we will create the new domain controller in a same domain, that is our root domain. So it will remain the same, it will get the same Active Directory, it will get the replication from within the domain with the domain partition replication, and everything, it is actually additional domain controller. Now if we want to create the root domain, so for root domain what we do, we select this, we select add a new forest, and when we select add a new forest, So it says what will be your root domain name. So if we want to create the root domain, that means we are creating the whole new forest, and in the forest we are creating the first root domain. Now we want to create the new domain within the same forest. So we will select add a new domain to an existing forest. Now when we select this, it says what type of domain you want. So you want child domain or you want tree domain. Now I want to create the child domain. So when I select child domain, it says what will be your parent domain. Parent domain, right now we have only one domain, that is our root domain. So it is showing that name here. Now if we have multiple domains, then we can select it from here. It will show you all the domains here, like the parent domain, child domain, then child's child domain, child's child domain, like this. Right now we have only one domain. Now it is showing this domain because we have already authenticated with the user account. The account which is authenticated to add the new domain or remove the domain, that is administrator account. It is the domain administrator, root domain is administrator. So I have already logged into this domain administrator account, so it is showing me this. Now if you are not logged into the domain administrator, then it will not show you the domain name here, parent domain name. So you have to do what? You have to log in by using this change option. You have to log in as a domain administrator or the authenticated user, and then what? You can get the information about the domain parent domains or all the other domains. So this will be the parent domain. Now we have to make sure the name of the new domain here. So I will give the new domain name, just like I will say new. This will be my new domain name. This is the child domain name. This will be the child domain name. But the full domain name will be for this child domain will be new.site.com. The new will be the new will be the child domain for child domain name for this domain, and the parent domain name will be sci.com. So we have selected this. Now rest of the options are same as we create the new domain root domain. The same other options are same like we create the new domain. Here it is asking us to select the forest domain functional level. That means we can select the domain functional level. We can select the domain functional level till up to server 2008. We can go to select the minimum server 2008. Why? Because the forest function level which is selected on the root domain is on server 2008, and we have not raised the functional level. So if you see this in the root domain, now this is our root domain, and first when we install this root domain, we have decided the forest functional level, and forest function level is right now on server 2008, and that is why we can create the other domain within with the up to or minimum up to server 2008. We can verify that by using by going into this Active Directory domains and trust. In this console you will see all the domains here. You will see all the parent domain, child domain, tree domain, everything. Right now we have only root domain here, and you can see the functional level also. You can do right click on this and you can select this, rise the functional forest functional level. So when you select this, you will see the functional level is selected to server 2008. The current functional level is server 2008, and that is why it is allowing us to have a functional level of these others up to server 2016. Now if I rise this functional level here, then the domain functional level I cannot select less than this, whatever I select here. So on this child domain, I can select the functional level of server 2008, 8R2, 2012, 12R2 or 2016 also. So it is allowing me to select these functional level because the minimum level for the forest level, functional level is server 2008 current functional level. So we can select all these. If suppose the forest functional level was server 2012, then we cannot select this. These two options were not available. I will select server 2016. But even I select the server 2016, I will not be able to use the new features of server 2016 because our forest functional level is still on server 2008. So for working with the other domain of Server 2008, we use this functional level. So it will give us the compatibility. Now what we want to install the DNS. So DNS is must, so we have to install the DNS. So I'm going to install with this domain controller. Global catalog is also needed, but in case if you don't want, then you can remove it. You can remove it and you can use the domain, the global catalog or DNS of the root domain. But I want it here also, so I will create this. Then I have to give the restore mode password, and this is the site. Right now we don't have any site, it is selected default first site name, that is only the default site we have. Now the next options are remain same. This is for the DNS delegation. It is going to create the DNS delegation by using this account, administrator account. It is checking the NetBIOS name, NetBIOS name for the domain, that is new. The name for the domain is new. Okay, it is available. Next. And these are the database path. Then this is the summary which we have selected, and then it will check the prerequisites. It will verify the prerequisites, and if everything is okay, then it will give us the option to install. Okay, so everything is okay and we can now successfully install. So I will do what? I will install it, and it will become the new domain, new child domain. It will take a little time and then it will reboot, and then we get the new child domain. Now the new child domain will get the new Active Directory. It will have the separate Active Directory. It is now rebooting, and after reboot we will get the child domain. Okay, it is now started. Now I will try to log in. Now it is showing me that this user is already there, sai.com. I have logged in. Now when I select other user, so it says here the new domain is new. We can see that sign into new domain. Now here I want to log in as a new domain controller admin, so I will say new administrator and password. So I am now logging in as a new domains, this child domains administrator. And we can I can also log in as a root domains administrator, because the both domains are in the same forest and both domains users can use the resources of each other, and as the privilege, so it can use the resources of this child domain also. Now when we see here, so we can see the domain name is showing here new.site.com, because this is the new child domain. And when we go to the Active Directory, users and users, so when we open this Active Directory, we can see here it says the new domain. It is the domain name is new, but the parent domain is .sci.com. And when we open this, we can see the new Active Directory. It is not having the same Active Directory which we have on the root domain of forest. We have created 2 OUs there and we created 2 users there, so it is not showing here. It is not showing here because it is the new Active Directory. So if we check the Active Directory on our root domain, parent domain, so we can see here it is a different Active Directory. As we can see here, we have the OU here, Pune, Mumbai, and we have some user here, user 1, user 2, and that is not available on that child domain, because that is the child domain, it is having a different OU. Now when you go to Active Directory, domains and trusts, so you can see here that this is our root domain, and when you open it, you can see this is our child domain. Now the child domain does not have any other child, so it is not showing. So we have a root domain, then we have a child domain of the root domain. Now same as we created the child domain, we can create the tree domain also. So if we want to create the tree domain, so what we will do the same thing. We'll do what we will take the new server for that domain. Like it is a separate domain, that means we have a separate infrastructure, separate servers, separate clients, and we want to create the separate domain for them, and we want to create the tree domain. So what we will install first the server there, a machine, a server operating system, server 2016. Then on that server we will install the Active Directory domain services, and we'll select the when we promote the server to be a domain controller, we select to be a tree domain. Now we have another server, server 3, and that we will configure as a tree domain. So this is our server 3. Now it is a normal server, it is a member server. So it is already a member server, so we don't have to authenticate it again. So we will do what? We will add the roles and add the domain services role here first, and then what? We will promote this to be a domain controller. But this time we will do what? We'll select it to be a tree domain. So first we have to install these feature here again, the Active Directory domain services role here. Now the services are installed. Now it is saying promote this server to be a domain controller. So we'll select this. Now again it is saying, do you want to create the domain controller in an existing domain? Now this time for existing domain you will get two domains. If you select, you see two domains. You want to create a new domain controller in this root domain, or you want to create new domain controller in this child domain. So you get two options there. Now if you want to create new domain, root domain, then you will select this, you will create new forest. But now I want to create a new domain in our existing forest. Now this time if I want to create the child domain, so I get two options here. I want to create child domain for this sci.com, or I want to create domain for this child domain. So we can create the child domain of the child domain, or we can create the child domain of directly this root domain. But we want to create the tree domain. So we will drop down this and we will select that I want to create tree domain. Now when you select tree domain, so it will not give any other option, it will directly show you the forest name here. That the tree domain is going to be created under the forest. So it shows here that the name of the forest. So if it is not showing the name and if it is not showing anything, so you have to do what? We have to just log in. Right now we have already logged in as a domain administrator, the root domains administrator. So it is not showing, it is showing me all these informations, all these forest name, domain names. If it is not showing, then you have to log in first. You have to just select change here, and then you have to log in as a domain administrator. And then you can see the domains, name of the domains here, tree domain, the child domain, root domain name. Now we want to create the tree domain, so it says in which forest we want to create. So this is the forest which we want to create the root domain, and what will be a new domain name. Now this time you can give a new domain name, completely new domain name. It is not going to be the child domain, so it is not going to have a namespace of the child domain, or it is not going to follow the namespace of the root domain also. So for example, I want to give this domain name as a tech.com. So this will be the new domain, this will be the new namespace for this domain because it is the tree domain. And childs of this tree domain will carry the namespace of this this parent domain. Now the rest of the options will remain same, like we created the child domain. Like for example the functional levels and selecting to be a DNS server and all that. So now the options are same as the child domain we created. Like you want to select the functional level for the domain depending on the forest functional level. Then you want to have a DNS server for this domain on this domain controller. You want to have a global catalog server for this domain controller. This read-only domain controller you will get only when you are creating the additional domain controller in the same domain. Then you will get this option. Otherwise, it is not. This option is not available. Then the site option. Right now we don't have any site. We have only one site, so we are creating it in that. Then you have to give the password for the restore mode, and next. Then again for the DNS, it is showing this. I'll say OK. It is searching for the NetBIOS name for the domain. It is verified now. Next. Database path, same. Summary which we have selected. Then it is testing the prerequisites, and if it is everything is fine, then it will give us the option to install. Okay, all these prerequisites are fine, so we can go on to install this. And now it is going to install, and it is going to create this domain as a tree domain. Now it will get the new Active Directory, which is separate from the other domains, and also the separate administrator, separate security, separate policy boundary. We have the policies which we apply here in this domain. It will remain in this domain. The administration permissions will remain for this. Remain in this domain boundary. Now we have to just wait for this to complete and the restart. After restart, we can see that it is having the different Active Directory, different domain. It is still configuring. It will take a little time. And now it is rebooting. So installation is completed, and now it is rebooting, and after reboot it is ready. Now it is rebooted, and now we can log in. This is the forest administrator. I am logging in. Now it is ready, and now you can see it is showing the domain name as a tech.com, and it is not carrying the parent root domain's name here. It is creating the new domain here. It is a new domain. It is a tree domain, and it is having the different namespace. So it is not carrying the namespace for the other the root domain. So it will be a new tree, and we can create the child domains for this tree also, and this tree will have the separate the tree. That means if you create child domain of this domain, this tree domain, so they will carry the namespace of this tree domain. So in Active Directory users and computers, we can see this is the domain name. It is saying tech.com. It is you can't understand that this is a tree domain. You will not know that this is the tree domain by seeing the Active Directory users and computers. Now it is having the different Active Directory here. As you can see, we created the OUs there, and those OUs are not showing here. It is having a different users, new users here. If you want to create, so the new users will be created here. It is not having anything. It is not getting anything from the root domain. So it is a separate domain. It is a tree domain. Now when you go to domains and trust, then you will know that what domain is this. So if you go to Active Directory domains and trust, so you will see here that this is our forest, where we have this root domain, and the root domain has one child domain, and this is our tree domain, another tree domain, and this tree domain does not have any child. So this is what the child domain, and this is the tree domain with the new namespace. It is carrying the namespace of the parent, but this one is a new domain, new tree domain. It is having the new namespace. Now when we configure these multiple domains, So you have to make sure, you have to remember the roles we have. The roles we have, the 5 FSMA roles. So 5 FSMA roles. So among those 5 roles, we have 2 roles as a forest wide. That means 2 roles in the whole forest. You can have only 2 machines which can carry those 2 roles, and then the rest of the 3 roles are separate. They are for each domain. That means you will get the 3 roles in root domain, you will get the 3 roles in uh, child domain, you will get the 3 roles in the tree domain also. So if you see, if you try to check, I'll go to CMD and try to see who is carrying the roles. We can get this easily by command line. So I'll say net dom query FSMO role. Now we are doing it in the in the tree domain. We are running the command in the tree domain. That is this tech.com on server 3. So it will show that which role is having on which server. So now you can see here the schema master, it is on server 1, which is our root domain server, and domain naming master is still, it is still on server 1, which is our root domain controller. So these 2 roles remain on forest wide. These 2 roles are forest wide. That means they will remain in the single server of the forest, whether it is under the root domain, whether it is under the tree domain, child domain, but it will remain only for the one server, single server in the whole forest. But these 3 roles, PDC, RID and infrastructure, is available on this server itself. That means the server, this tree domain server, that is server 3, it also has these 3 roles. So these 3 roles are available for this tree domain. Now when you go to the child domain, and under this child domain, if you run the same command here, netdom query FSMO, so it will also show that the 2 forest wide role is available again on server 1. You can see the 2 forest wide role is on server 1, but the 3 roles, that is the domain wide role, is available on this server itself, that is server 2. This is the child domain. So child domain can have these 3 roles. Tree domain can also have the 3 roles, because these 3 roles are domain wide roles, but these 2 roles are only available on single server within the whole forest, and that is available only on the server 1, which is we have installed the first time. Now we can move this, but we can move it to only one server within the whole forest. We can move this schema master role from server 1 to server 2 or server 3, but it will only remain on one server within the whole forest. But in every domain, that means root domain, child domain, every domain, they have their own domain wide roles, these 3 roles. And if you see if we run the command on server 1, so it will say that these forest wide role and also these domain roles also available on that root domain. So this is the root domains domain controller server 1, which is also having the role of forest wide role, and this one is also having the role of its own domain wide role. So it will also have its own roles of own domain wide roles. So every domain you create, they all have these domain wide role available, but forest wide role only available on server, the only single server. Now we can see all 5 roles are available here on server 1. Forest wide role or domain wide role. Domain wide role for this root domain. Now upgrading a previous version of ADDS to Windows Server 2016, that means if we have already using a previous versions, so how we can upgrade it to new version of Server 2016. So method to upgrade ADD to Windows Server 2016, first method is in place upgrade from Windows Server 2012 R2 or Windows Server 2012. So we can do the in place upgrade. In place upgrade, that means we'll put the installation DVD, and then we'll do what, we will select the upgrade option, and we can upgrade it to Server 2016 if the upgrade is allowable. That means if it is the allowed version to upgrade. Like if it is a standard version, we can upgrade it to data center edition, and if it is a core edition, then we can upgrade it into the core edition, but cannot upgrade into GUI. Whatever, if it is allowable upgrade, then we can do that, the in place upgrade. Or the most preferred method is this, on the recommended method is this, to introduce a new Windows Server 2016 server into the domain and promote it to be a domain controller. Now this is the preferred method, and it is also recommended method. Now in place upgrade is not possible. It is actually removing, it is to saving the user data and all that, but sometime it is not possible. Sometime it is not possible, but mostly we can do this other method. Now what this method do, this in place upgrade, that means if suppose you have a single server here, so you can upgrade it directly to the server 2016, but if the upgrade path is supported. Now if it is not supported, the upgrade path is not supported, then we can use this other method. What this method will do, we will do what, we will add one machine here, which we will install server 2016, and then we will promote this server to be a domain controller. Now this will be a domain controller, and we add the new domain controller into it. So this will be also a domain controller which have the same Active Directory database. Now this is server 2016, and this is the old version. Let's say it is server 2008. Now what we will do, we will demote this server, remove the Active Directory services from here, old one, and then we reinstall it fresh. Then we freshly install server 2016, and then what, we again promote this server to be a domain controller. Now in this case we don't have to lose anything, so it will upgrade it to server 2016. Then we don't need this server, extra server. So what we do, we can demote this, and then we can remove this server. This is just like a temporary server we added to upgrade the existing server. So this is the preferred method and recommended method. Then both methods requires that the schema is at the server functional Windows Server 2016 level. Now when we upgrade these, whether you are using this method or using this method, we have to upgrade the functional level also. So when it was server 2008 here, so you remember the forest functional level will be on server 2008 maximum. It cannot be on server 2016. But when you install new domain controller, so it will remain in the forest functional or domain functional level as server 2008. Even you install the server 2016 server, you will not get the new features. So what you have to do, after upgrading it, like you have upgraded into server 2016, then you will upgrade the functional level to server 2016 to get the new features. So the Active Directory domain services installation wizard will upgrade the schema automatically when run with the appropriate permissions. And when you run the appropriate permission, it will automatically upgrade the schema. Remember, schema need to be upgraded also, because in server 2016 you will get the new objects which you don't have in previous versions. So schema we need to be upgraded, and when we run the upgrade option, like when we install the Active Directory here, so it will automatically upgrade the schema. Or otherwise we can upgrade the schema by using the AD prep option. This AD prep tool is available. We can run the AD prep tool by using the /forest option, AD prep /forest, to upgrade the forest functional forest schema, and then it will do what, it will upgrade the schema, but it will automatically upgrade when we run the installation wizard. Now we can do the migration also, migration to Windows Server 2016 ADDS from the previous version. If suppose the upgrade is not possible, then what we can do, we can migrate it. Migrating, that means you want to do the in place upgrade. Now you can do this, you can do migration also, like this is our previous domain and this is our new domain which we are creating. So in this case what we have to do, we have to migrate it. Now migrating means all the security principles that are migrated, like we have to migrate the user accounts, managed service account, computer accounts and groups. Now we will migrate them to the other server, other domain or other domain controller, other Windows Server 2016 domain. Now they will still, the accounts gets the new SIDs here. So when we migrate it from the new domain here, so they will get the new SID here. But the resources access is migrated by using the SID history. So when we migrate the user's account and these accounts from one domain to other domain, so they will get the new SID based on this domain, based on the new domain, but the SID history option will be there also. Like suppose we have user 1 here and we migrated this user on, this user 1 was having the SID based on this domain. Now when we move this user from the other domain, so the user will get the new SID, but in the user's attribute, user's information, it will be one more SID there, it will call SID history. And by using this SID history, it can still have the access of all the resources which was accessed when it was member of this domain, when it was in this domain. This SID history we can see here, like when it was here in this domain, this was the information about this user, the department, distinguished name, given name, name and the SID, unique SID based on the domain name. These SIDs are depend on domain, and this is the unique SID for that particular user. Now when it moves to the other domain, so these informations will be updated and it will get the new SID. These base SIDs will change based on the domain and it will get the new SID, but it will still have the old SID, the SID history. And with using this SID history, it can still have the access of the resources which it was accessing previously when it was in this previous domain. So we can move users from one domain to other domain also in the forest. Now consideration for implementing the complex ADDS environment, we have to consider when we are trying to implement this, we have to consider the DNS consideration, like centralized versus decentralized. Like you want to have a single DNS server in the forest, or you want to have a decentralized DNS server. That means in every DNS, every domain, child domain, tree domain, we have a separate DNS environment. Verify the DNS client configuration and name resolution and optimize the DNS name resolution. Like we can configure the conditional forwarders and stub zones for sharing the information from one DNS server to other DNS server, domain DNS server. So we have to configure the conditional DNS or stub zones, DNS devolution and DNS suffix search order, deploy a global name zone we can configure, use ADDS integrated zones so that the Active Directory replication will replicate the domain also, DNS information also, extending the ADDS to Azure. So if we are extending the ADDS to Azure client, like in Azure cloud, then we have to consider the DNS zone replication also, DNS information also. Then UPN consideration. UPN, that means the user's principal name. User's principal name, UPN suffix, global catalog and federated authentication scenario. In this scenario, we have to consider about the UPN. Now UPN can be a difficult thing, like suppose, and based on that it will get the information from the global catalog server. Now UPN suffix, that means if suppose we have this domain here, domain 1, and we have the child domain here, domain 2, then we have the child domain here, domain 3. Now we have the tree domain here, let's say A. Then for this tree domain we have child domain B. Then we have a child domain C here. Now they are all in the same forest. That means the user account we create here in this domain, it can log into this domain machine also, the client of this domain. That means there is a machine here located under this domain. It's a client of this domain controller, this Windows, this client machine. Now the user account which we created here, he wants to log into this machine. Now how it will log in? It will give the UPN suffix properly, because the account is not created under this domain. Account is here. So the user will give what? It will give the suffix like the user name, then it will say @ now it will give its own domain name. That means this user is coming from A dot B dot C dot com. Now in this kind of suffix it can be a bigs here. So this UPN suffix, that username at the domain name, child domain name, parent domain name, everything will be, it has to give here. Oh, I have given reverse order. Whatever, c.b.a.com, it has to give it like this. So every user have to remember the suffix. Now for that, what we can do, we can create the UPN suffix, simple UPN suffix for the users of this child domain, so that they don't have to use the name or suffix like 3.2.1. Or even if you want to log in here, you don't have to give the domain name every time, but when it is trying to log in the other domain, then you have to give the proper UPN suffix. So the users which is going everywhere, they don't have to carry the UPN suffix. We can create the UPN suffix, separate UPN suffix for them, and we can create that by using the like we have the user account here. Now this user is from the root domain, and this is the UPN account suffix. Now when you drop down this, it is showing only the root domain name. Now I'll go back to child domain now. Now this is our child domain. Now UPN suffix is like username at new.sci.com. So if the user, we create any user here, now when we check the properties of this user and account, so we can see the UPN suffix, we have both. We can use this, we can use this also. That means if it is difficult to give this suffix, then we can configure the user suffix like this, simple. That means user just don't have to give the whole name. It can give user3@sci.com instead of user3@new.sci.com. So these are the consideration we have to consider when we are creating multiple domains. So we have to consider that what UPN suffix we want to give for the users if they are we are creating those users under the child, and also global catalog consideration. That means whether we want to create the global catalog server here in this domain or not, or we want to use the global catalog from the parent domain. Then the federation authentication services, that means if you are using the Active Directory federation services, then we have to consider the authentication for the federation services also. So today we have seen how we can create the distributed domain services, like creating child domain, tree domain, and managing the forest and extending the forest.